Welcome back, chess fans, to highlights from the first part of Week 4 of the United States Chess League. This is FM Mike Klein reporting. This was the second of 3 interdivisional weeks in the United States Chess League season, and this week the East got the best of the West, winning 4 out of the first 5 interdivisional matches. Only the Seattle Sluggers' third straight victory was able to keep the Western Division from being completely shut out. In our first match, the New Jersey Knockouts got back above 500 by giving the Carolina Cobras their first loss on the season. The Knockouts went with a 2GM, 2-expert lineup, and the strategy worked out well as they got 1.5 out of 2 from their grandmasters. Let's look at board 2, where former US and Soviet champ GM Boris Gulko snatched a pawn out of the opening against the Cobras FM Kasa Corley. White's knights were scrambling for cover all game, as 14 of his first 30 moves were L-shaped. Finally, the knight on b6 got too far behind enemy lines, and Gulko's simple queen d6 forced White to play the bughouse maneuver, knight a8. The grandmaster didn't even bother to capture and allow a-file counterplay. In the final position, Corley resigned in view of rook f1, queen h6. Josh Mew for the Cobras went to 2-0 on the season by scoring a board 3 win, but the Knockouts' Praveen Balakrishnan scored a small upset on board 4 to clinch the match for the Knockouts 2.5 to 1.5. The New York Knights also edged San Francisco by the same score, aided by a protracted endgame win by top player GM Georgi Kashishvili over Grandmaster Jesse Cry. The teenage international master Daniel Naroditsky got the mechanics back to even, but the real fireworks came on board 4, as the Knights' national master Alexander Katz outlasted fellow master Kesav Viswanathan. After tossing a piece thematically on d5, Katz wasn't done, following it up by offering his queen after 20 queen takes f6. The cool reply, rook takes h4, meant Katz had to carry on down 2 minors, so Katz used his f-pawn as a battering ram. It sat there for 20 moves on the 7th rank, as both players shunned several repetitions. All of a sudden, after 50 rook e8, Viswanathan's queen couldn't get back to cover f8, and was also without any useful checks. Black tried to desperately hold with 2 rooks versus a queen and 2 passers, but Katz advanced his pawns to earn his team a match win. All 4 boards were decisive as Philly bested LA 3-1. We saw some old school openings this match, including an exchange Spanish and a 2 knights defense. The star move came late in the Grandmaster game on board 1. The Vibes' Malik Kashian played the seemingly harmless 26g5, but after a think, Sergei Ehrenberg struck back with the counterblow 26e5. Either capture will likely lead to h takes g5 when black gets all the pressure. Instead, the e-file opened, and a few moves later it wasn't hard to see the ineffectiveness of all of White's pieces. Ehrenberg engineered a good knight versus bad bishop, and after 38 knight d3 check, he soon took the point. In the 4th match, Manhattan, Arizona seemed destined for a tie. After the top 3 boards drew, board 4 looked to end the same way with an equal ending. But eventually, National Master Andrew Riba's knight got a little too frisky, and he had to lose a pawn to save it. Tragically, though National Master Deepro Chakraborty had all the chances, he lost on time, giving the Applesauce the gift win and allowing them to remain tied with the Knights atop the Eastern Division. Seattle was the only team from the West to survive the first part of Week 4. Playing without their top board for the 3rd time in 4 matches, the Sluggers still managed to win their 3rd straight match. On board 4, a relentless National Master Joshua Sinanin threw all of his kingside pawns forward, and eventually National Master Ricky Seltzler's minor pieces ran out of room. Seltzler is a Seattle native, but his hometown team bested him, as the rook for 2 minors position he settled for was even worse than most, and he succumbed shortly after. The final margin was 2.5 to 1.5 for Seattle. Tune in next time to see if the West can get some revenge in the second part of Week 4. We'd like to thank our sponsors, PokerStars, the ICC, and Chess.com.